Hello, everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don, and if you're listening to this, that means you are here for a brand new episode of the Major Issues podcast, brought to you by Comic Book Click. But more importantly, if you're listening to this, that means you are the 50% that is still here. You have survived the snap heard around the world. And guess what? There's more survivors because I'm here and I'm never alone. Sir, introduce yourself.
I have survived the snap that heard around the universe. I am your Cloudus Maximus. Still your Cloudus Maximus.
Cloudus Maximus here in studio. We're still reaching out. Yogi's still here. GT Rebirth. I know Dan the Comic Man, but it's getting scarce. The snap has happened.
Everybody's stressed, man. This is heavy.
A movie 10 years in the making that is breaking box office records, breaking hearts and breaking minds all over the world. I know if you're listening to this, you are here for answers. You are here for support. You are here for some Infinity War therapy. And that's exactly what we're here to do. Cloudus.
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you right off the bat. You may have them, but I ain't got the answers.
You ain't got the answers?
I don't have the answers, man.
We're at least gonna do some wild.
This was crazy.
Yes, we're at least gonna do some wild speculation. The people deserve to just hear us because this movie, Avengers: Infinity War, if you haven't figured out what we're talking about already, it surpassed all of my expectations, and it seemingly is changing.
I couldn't have been ready, man.
It's changing
I wasn't
the MCU
ready.
as we know it. Between the amount of people on screen, between the action sequences, the character interactions, and then that ending, the ending. And we're going to talk about it all here in a super spoiler-filled review. We already used the time stone. We tried to do a recap scene by scene, and that didn't really work. We're here just to talk about feelings, emotions. We were on a field trip during this. Some of you may know Cloudus Maximus is one of my longtime friends, and we've legit, I think, have seen every Marvel movie, at least in the vicinity of one another, whether it be rewatches, actual theater trips. How did you feel about the theater experience of watching this movie? I was there with you, but I want you to explain to the people how it felt.
Oh my goodness! I'm just glad we all, as an audience in that same room, all had the same reactions. We were, oh my God, we were going through it, man, as a whole.
It sort of reminded me of Comic-Con, where you're like, you may not know anybody here, but we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah, and so it was crazy, man. Oh my goodness. It was, well, when it came to the theater, it was everything that I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
But the movie itself couldn't have been. I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I was about to watch.
Yeah, we were given laughs, reasons to cry, reasons to gasp. I guess we should talk a little bit about the Infinity Gauntlet itself and the stones, right? Because that's what the majority of this movie was about. We'll get to the MVP as far as villains are concerned in a minute, but this gauntlet is something that we saw in Age of Ultron, I want to say, for the first time.
Yes,
we did see a fake Infinity Gauntlet,
fake one in
Thor.
Yeah,
in Odin's trophy room. Yeah, but the real Infinity Gauntlet we see for the first time in Age of Ultron. Now, I have a question to ask you. We end up finding out that Thanos traveled to Nidavellir?
Yes.
The home of the dwarves, and that's where we meet Etri, which is the, I might be pronouncing that wrong, but that is the Peter Dinklage dwarf that helped create Mjolnir and then create Stormbreaker. But he says that Thanos has come and threatened to kill, everyone there if he didn't make the gauntlet. Mm-hmm. I'm to believe that this happens before Age of Ultron, right?
Right. Because in the post credits, you get him.
He's already got the thing.
Yeah, he puts on the glove. So
I think that's very interesting. That's something that we should keep in mind. But the gauntlet was created to wield the 6 Infinity Stones, or gems if you're a comic fan. These things take control over various aspects of our world. We had the Power Stone, which was on Xandar, last time we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy with the Nova Corps. We have the Space Stone, which we know is with Loki. He's on the Asgardian refugee ship. The Reality Stone we know was with the Collector on Nowhere. We knew the Time Stone was in New York with Doctor Strange, and then the Mind Stone is wherever the heck Vision was, and we had no idea where the Soul Stone was. And we heard, remember all the
Yeah,
speculation about the Soul
Wakanda,
Stone?
Wakanda,
It's got to be in Wakanda.
Wakanda.
Tony is the Soul Stone. I heard it all.
What?
I heard
You
everything.
heard that?
I
Wow,
heard
I
it
didn't
all.
hear that.
Tony is the Soul Stone
What?
because he's the soul of the MCU. I've heard it all.
Okay.
I've heard it all, bro. But we knew that Thanos was gonna be coming for all these stones, and I thought they did a terrific job of like placing, uh, making it literally just a trip. To and from grabbing all these stones. It reminds me of the Thanos Quest comic that came out before Infinity Gauntlet, in which he challenges the various holders of their stones before he grabs them all and puts them all in the gauntlet. But yeah, now that we've talked about those stones, let's talk about Thanos. Let's just get it out there. From the second you see him,
Boss himself
he acts like a boss. He has the entire suit on and removes
carries
it.
himself. So, oh man.
How'd you feel about the Power Stone? Him already having the Power Stone.
Um, uh, it was wishy washy to me, but it's I could deal with not having seen it. I mean, they mentioned it. They decimated Xandar, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And it could have been a thing where it was just the children of Thanos who did that because
And
he
if
was
you
sending them
and if
around.
you know, you kind of hang on to that to like kind of hope Nova comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, in a way, we don't really end up seeing him take the Reality Stone either. He already has it
Yeah.
when we get to Nowhere. But yeah, just that intro, he we knew that his goal was to go and get all the stones in this movie. And we sat here and we theorized and asked you
Mhm.
several times, do you think he gets them all, bro? Do you think he gets them
Man, I
all?
know he was
Does he
gonna
get them all? And
man.
you were saying, yeah, oh, he's definitely gonna get them all. Even as you predicted it, how was it seeing him one by one? Take the Power Stone from Xandar, take the Space Stone from Loki, take it from the
It was
Collector.
crazy because every time he threw one on the gauntlet, you just see him like power up in a way.
Yeah. And in that
Like,
intro, they say when he gets the second stone, no one's ever wielded two.
right.
And at every point when he's described Thanos, they'll say like, "Oh, he's got 3 stones. He's the most powerful in the universe. Oh, he's got 4 stones. He's the most." And he's just getting worse
Yeah,
as the
worse,
movie
worse,
continues. He's just getting bigger. But with all the scariness aside, Cloudus, they wrote the man a backstory.
Yeah, they did.
How'd you feel about the Mad Titan from Titan, a place that grew so big that they ended up not having the means of surviving as a culture? And from that moment, he decides that there are way too many beings in the universe, and the only true way to have all the resources that we need is to
I'm glad.
erase half of existence.
I'm glad they threw that in there, but I'm more of a fan of how they threw that in there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I forgot what it was. I think they were on the spaceship, and then they just cut to who said that? Oh no, it was after Cap.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
talking about
he
what?
said,
You talking
yeah,
about when they're on Titan?
Yeah, no, when they left.
Okay.
And he said when we were going for the flashback,
Yes.
he said we were going home, and then just went. into
Yeah.
the flashback.
Yeah.
So I was
Of
like,
Gamora,
oh,
of
yeah,
Gamora
Gamora,
hiding in a-
and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I was like, all right, I didn't know we were gonna get this, but I'm with it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So that was great. That was great and informative too. So I liked seeing everything. And Thanos with all his armor on and something like that was awesome.
We have the direct backstory, right? Because we see him on Titan. Doctor Strange's like, let me guess, this is your home world, and then he uses the Reality Stone to show how it truly looks. It's
Right.
decimated. So we got like a little bit of backstory, but am I wrong to think? Now this is what this podcast is for, right? Wild speculation. Thanos says, at Vermeer, I'm gonna butcher a lot of these planets. On Vermeer, he says that he denied his destiny once before, right?
Mm-hmm.
He denied his destiny once before, and he won't do it again. He also makes it a point to when he's doing like his little walking around speeches. He constantly is talking about losing and loss and knowing how it feels like to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
He does the whole, run from it, all that kind of stuff. And am I wrong to believe that there's a backstory of Thanos where he's tried this before? where he tried to look for these stones, where he tried to grab this stuff, is the gauntlet from that time. Oh, from before.
maybe I'll just say that he's that I mean he is the only Titan left, so
Right.
you know what I mean. So he's the only
Remember
guy.
the Titans.
He's he's the only guy from his planet that's actually, I guess, alive. So I guess that's what he means by that in a way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it could be a different thing that he was planning before. Probably the stones, maybe something else.
Maybe just like a stone
Yeah.
or two. That could be it. But the idea, like he says, and this is a quote: "I know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail nonetheless. It's frightening. It turns the legs to jelly. I ask you to what end? Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same, and now it's here, or should I say, I am." And so the man's lost.
Hmm.
Are are we meant to believe that we're gonna see when he tried this before, or his whatever his destiny
Whatever it
was?
was before. That'll be cool to see. But when and where could we see it? You think?
Well, I think it might be in
Captain
Captain
Marvel?
Marvel, but we'll get there in a second. Um, at every turn, he's questioned by both a stranger, Doctor Strange, and by Gamora, who's his daughter, about how he feels about this, his plan, and just the idea of taking 50-50. And he doesn't waver. When Doctor Strange says it's genocide, he's he's like, I'm not picking people.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not,
he's
it's not
like,
random.
he says, like, when we faced extinction, I offered a solution. And that's when Doctor Strange's like, genocide? And he's like, yeah, but it's random. And he goes, congratulations, you're a prophet. And Thanos goes, I'm a survivor. And from there, we see, I mean, from the entire movie, we see his survivor mentality. He is set to do this. He's like, I'm a survivor. And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, but who wants to murder Trojans? And then again, with all the 6 stones, I can simply snap my fingers and they will all cease to exist. I call that mercy. And then Doctor Strange says, and then what? And Thanos
Let me
says,
tell you then what.
I will finally rest, watch the sun rise on an ungrateful universe. The
Yeah.
hardest choices require the strongest wills. And we got exactly
And
that
then
in
with
this film.
chillax, B.
Out of control.
He said that. If you haven't seen the movie, he said that.
Let's talk about Thanos' body count.
Do we really want to talk about that now?
Xandar,
Oh
right?
my God.
A planet seemingly is gone. I don't know
Jesus
yet, but it
Christ.
might be completely gone. Half of an Asgardian ship, half of all the Asgardians have ever existed, pretty much, on that ship. Loki,
The Collector,
Heimdall, the Collector. You think Collector's dead?
maybe.
Bro, I don't think Collector's dead. I want to say that him and Grandmaster have to have some kind of plan. It would be cool if Infinity War legit grabs everybody that's left. Like, everybody that's hanging on. Speaking of which, where the heck is Valkyrie?
Gamora's dead.
Gamora. He did. That is a body count for him. He does. He killed Gamora.
Tossed it off the.
Vision.
Oh,
That's
man.
all him. Have we seen an MCU villain with this big of a body count before? Not death by death, right? Not
nah,
like
yeah. Not himself doing. Yeah.
like you hear something off screen, or like they will shoot something and then But we got a motive, and it was sympathetic to some people. Some people were saying this guy's the hero of the movie. I'm not in that camp, but people really liked that they were able to sympathize with Killmonger, and now with this, is like they can kind of see what he's talking about. Now, killing half the universe is kind of mad, and that's how you get the name Mad Titan. But there was also another sort of lord that was walking around trying to, I don't know, bring balance to the universe. He called himself Darth Vader, and he went around trying to make sure that the universe was not all evil and not all good. He wanted to bring balance. How do you think Thanos compares to Darth Vader?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
Vader doesn't have an Infinity Gauntlet.
Vader
I
didn't
don't
win.
know. And Vader didn't win.
Come at me, Star Wars fans. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. They're all in the same family now, Marvel and Star Wars. Did you see that the Star Wars Facebook page put up a picture of Rey handing the
Yes.
lightsaber to
Yes,
Iron
that was
Man?
awesome. I seen another one on Instagram. They edit the lightsaber and it had the Infinity Stones on it.
But it's basically the idea
Yeah,
that
but
they're passing
yeah,
over the
that
fact
was,
that
that was awesome.
no one
I
had
was looking
broken
at that for a
Force
little bit.
Awakens opening weekend,
Yeah.
but Infinity War has. Infinity War did. Um, what else do you want to say about the Mad Titan?
I don't know, man. I was scared. I was intimidated watching the movie.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
he always had like scary music, I guess you would say. The score always followed him everywhere he went.
Yeah.
But I would also say tremendous job emoting with his face,
Yeah.
whether that's Brolin or special effects. I'm pretty sure it's a combination of both. But we were able to see this man like almost laugh, smile, cry, get angry.
Throw hands.
Even that scene, especially that scene where Mantis is on top of him, and we get like that
Oh.
real close up of his face.
Yeah.
He looks like a normal human being there. They did a tremendous job. But yeah, Thanos, 10 years
Yeah, worth a freaking wait,
had
man.
to come hard, or else he would have been
Yeah.
overhyped.
I'm in a way I was glad I was afraid, but
Yeah,
oh my gosh, man. Um he had to been like at least like what 11 feet tall,
huge.
12 feet
His
tall.
hand, the way he was able to like grab Thor's head at several
And
points, or
pick him up.
anybody's head. I'm just like, what the heck? When he hands Gamora the knife, and the knife is like half the size of Gamora, I'm like, what is going on here? But Thanos is not alone in his quest. He has brought the Black Order, or the Children of Thanos, depending on what you would like to call them, and that is Call Obsidian, which is a rather large man with an axe. Uh, Corvus Glaive, the man who stabbed Vision every 10 minutes of the film with his spear. Ebony Maw, my favorite member of the Children of Thanos, who always had something cool to say, as far as like rejoice, your miserable lives are now
He made
brought.
it. He tried to make it as comforting as possible to die.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
and he legit lived for working for Thanos. Like, no one else seemed as excited as he was to get the stones to help Thanos. When they get the Space Stone, he gets on a knee and is just like, "My lord, no one has ever." And I'm like, but you, no one has the power." So you have Ebony Maw, and they have Proxima Midnight. The female of the squad. She also has like a sort of spear dealy there. How do you feel about the Children of Thanos, as far as CGI, as far as what they were able to do on screen?
I thought they were great, but they didn't look like him. So I may have some paternity issues going.
Oh, they didn't look like
They
Thanos.
didn't look like him, you know.
But
I mean, but Gamora doesn't look like him either. So whatever, I
that's true.
guess.
Neither does Nebula.
Neither does
You
Nebula.
might
So
have
whatever. Thanos steal all his children.
you might want to figure. You might want to figure that out over there, Thanos.
But no. Out of all of them, probably the Witch Man.
Oh, Ebony Maw.
Yeah, Ebony Maw.
The sorcerer of the group, was just out there
the
like something
Witch
to.
Man.
He had something to prove. At several points, he out magicked Doctor Strange. Um, he was tearing cars in half with a finger, like just like a motion of a finger.
He was a nasty dude.
It was crazy to see, and we see him in the very beginning when he's able to take all that metal and wrap Thor around in it.
And shh.
Ah, so scary, and he has like a dent in his head. It's all like this. The CGI was absolutely amazing. Call Obsidian really didn't do much. He had a big axe, and I don't really think he.
I mean, he took it to Iron Man.
Yeah, but then he eventually lost an arm because of that.
True.
So I don't know about you, Cole. And then he lost to a guy in another suit.
Another Iron Man suit. Yeah, let's go 2 for 2.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about like where do you think the Black Order comes from in as far as the MCU is concerned? Do you think this is people he always knew and was always in contact with, or does this happen when he decides he wants to set out and get the stones?
I both.
Okay.
They do his handiwork for him until he decides he wants
That
to
he
get
has
busy.
to get up and do
Yeah.
it himself.
So, but they're dead now.
All of them. Every single.
So what's up? Now,
every
who's
single
gonna be
one
his
of
hand-
them is dead.
Is Thanos recruiting now? What's up?
We do get
What's
a
gonna
but
be?
you're right. You do get a little bit of a backstory. Because Ebony Maw says like, I have served Thanos for and I've never failed him. So you have to believe that there's a lot of history there with the Black Order. Another MVP and part of the Time Stone Squad, as I like to call it, Tony Stark, Iron Man. He's the first hero I'm gonna name as MVP because this man's paranoia.
I'm saying that's my MVP right there for the whole movie.
This man's PTSD and
Yep.
paranoia have led him to be the most prepared Avenger for this invasion. We got to see a look at the bleeding edge armor. We got to see various different new toys. attached to that armor.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man.
Spiffy.
Iron Man
And then
is
no
one of your, if not your favorite character in these MCU movies. How did you
Yes.
feel about his inclusion in this film and his role in this film?
Oh, first of all, I'm marked like a baby when we took off the glasses and we saw the nanotech come on.
Yeah.
And he slapped down the shield. That was great.
Somebody who's not too happy about that nanotech is Pepper Potts. Pepper's like, why are you still building things? You keep talking about you want to get married and have
Wishy
kids.
washy, Pepper Potts. But she still loves Tony, so whatever.
She does. She does still
I
love
can't
Tony.
fault her.
And Tony says that he's doing this all for her too. And
And this could be it. Could be the thing Tony's been waiting for, but Pepper don't know that.
and so I thought just crossed my mind.
So
I thought just crossed my mind. We don't know. We don't even know if Pepper's on Earth when he gets back. Oh no! I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry,
man.
I'm sorry. Who was your favorite interaction that Iron Man had with? Because he met a bunch of people in this film that he's never met. Doctor Strange, Wong, the Guardians,
him and Doctor Strange
Nebula.
right off the bat, bro.
Him and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, him and Doc. Right off the
facial
bat,
hair
man.
brothers in the comics, right?
Yep.
Facial hair bros. Yeah, they and both played Sherlock before, but from the get, these
Spider-Man and Mantis.
Oh yeah,
That's
Spider-Man
hilarious.
and Mantis. But Iron Man and Strange from the get are like neck and neck.
Neck and neck. You
I don't
selling
think they
tickets, man?
I don't think they respect each other. I don't think, or at least I don't think they did respect each other when they first met.
I think they knew of each other.
But it's one of those things. I see Tony. If he did know of Doctor Strange, but I actually don't think he knew of Doctor Strange. But if he did know of Doctor Strange, I feel like he'd be like, oh yeah, like how he plays him off here, the Wizard, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the Wizard. And in the same way, I feel like Doctor Strange would be like, oh yeah, that guy who like builds things that I can tear apart with my mind and stuff. Like, you understand? So I don't think that they're on different sides of reality almost with what they see. To the
Yeah, you
point
can
that
say that,
Iron Man
definitely.
asks Doctor Strange, what is it that you do again? He's like, I protect your reality.
Protect your reality, douchebag.
So that was pretty cool there. Doctor Strange, though, gotta say, he's another MVP,
Yeah.
man. He's another MVP. From the second that the Hulk lands through the
Hold it
Sanctum
down.
Sanctorum, Doctor Strange knows the deal. He knows he needs to protect that time stone no matter what. That time stone is something that he used
Yeah, it's
in
crazy.
the
And
first
he told
Doctor
he
Strange.
told Tony, if it comes down to you or the kid, which is Peter,
Yes,
Spider-Man,
you or your ward.
oh man, I will not hesitate till the child die.
Yeah.
Oh,
At
I was
various,
like, oh,
at various
God.
points, he's trying.
I was
to,
like, I hope it doesn't come to that, man.
At various points, he's trying to go back to Earth.
hmm
He wants to go back to Earth, and because, like we said, Thanos had the Power Stone. He had the Space Stone. The Reality and Soul Stones were out of their reach, and Earth has the mind and the time. And when you think about that, that's a big deal. Like holding, it's one thing to like say, let's go find the Reality Stone, or
Mhm.
let's go, but you have it in your hand. The one thing that people are dying for, and the one thing that he's coming for, you have around your neck. And so that's a big deal. And Strange goes through literal torture because of this thing. And if torture wasn't able to get it out of him, it makes you think, why did the guy even give it up in the first place? But I have a little bit of theory behind that one. But
yeah, me too.
how do you feel about Doctor Strange? How do you feel about his battles with Ebony Moss and Thanos? Thanos.
He's my second MVP, honestly. He would be number 2. I got Iron Man and Doc as MVPs of the movie.
The
But
directors.
Doctor Strange was all over the place throughout the whole movie, holding it down.
He was
And I was
basically
so glad
everywhere,
he went to space with Tony.
He was
I was like,
basi-
go back to Earth. No, let's not turn it around. What you mean? Stay in space.
Yeah, and you like I said, he's the one that had him and Tony have the most conversations with Thanos.
And I'm starting to
That was
think
going on.
that the sling ring is just an Earth thing now.
Oh yeah, because
You
he was
know?
able to do all kinds of stuff, huh?
hmm
I like when Doctor Strange bumped into Quill and was like, let me ask you this one time, what master do you serve? And Peter goes
What
like,
master
oh,
do I
what
serve?
master do I serve? What am I supposed to say? Jesus? Funny
That's when
funny
they
stuff.
first met, man. Oh my God.
Funny stuff. And Doctor Strange never met the Hulk either. Like he's legit bumping into all these people for the first time. His movie was basically him by himself, and we see him in Ragnarok, so he knows about Thor and Loki.
Hmm.
But
He's
this
getting exposed to the
this
heroes.
is the first time him meeting the rest of the Avengers. He still hasn't met Steve.
Nope.
That's interesting. I cannot wait for that interaction. Also, the directors had rumored on saying that whoever didn't get a lot of spotlight in this film was supposed to be
Right.
getting a lot in the next film. So this is cool that there are
Save them.
It's cool that there are standout members. But to keep it human, another MVP, Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Big three.
This
I
is
was
the
hoping that'd be the
third
big
appearance
three.
of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. The first being in Civil War, where he won our hearts and our minds. Then we did Spider-Man: Homecoming, which was a tremendous Spider-Man film, and now
Infinity War.
Infinity War, man. We knew
I
he was
was,
gonna.
I was, listen, I was so happy for anything Spider-Man in there because, to be honest, 3 years ago he wasn't even supposed to be in this movie. You know what I mean?
It's amazing that you bring
So,
that up
I'm
because we forget,
so
right?
happy, so happy, man.
We forget to be grateful
Yeah,
because there
hell
was a
yeah.
world in which he could not play with the other
Yep.
characters, and we got him to. We seemingly got
Like
him
to
to
see
play
him
with
in the
every
trailers at
character.
first, and then to come by and see the movie and everything in the theater. Oh my goodness, it was just such joy.
But the two things that stand out to me about Spider-Man is one, he was ready for anything.
Yes.
Things that were obviously out of his range, out of his wheelhouse, things
And he
he's never done
and he
before.
put on his
he
game
was
face.
ready for. The second thing is he saves multiple lives in this film.
Mhm.
He saves Doctor Strange's life like 3 times
Yeah.
before they get to Titan. It's his idea with the aliens thing that kills Ebony Maw and saves Doctor Strange, which seemingly saves the Time Stone, right?
Mhm.
So, and then that scene where the people are falling with debris and he's catching them out of the sky.
He caught Drax, Mantis,
Yeah, I thought that was
Doctor Strange again.
Doctor Strange again. How do you feel about Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit? The
Oh,
introduction.
I'm glad it came out as a surprise.
Did you know that he'd have the legs?
No, I was hoping it'd have the legs.
You hoping it did have the
Yeah, I
legs?
was hoping it did have the
Oh,
legs.
okay.
Afterwards, I started seeing the toys for it, and I was happy I didn't see the toys for it before.
Did you know? Do you know what he said when those legs came out?
No.
What are those?
Oh, for real? Wow. I didn't even notice. I seen that during like 3
That's
times.
crazy, right? What are those?
What is, oh yeah, when he goes, what are those? Right before he jumps, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those? I thought that was pretty.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's good
great.
stuff. Just like when he meets Drax and Mantis, and he's like, "What is it? What is it exactly that they do?" And Mantis is like, "Kick names, take ass." I thought that was all great. He has also a pretty cool. Well, you wanted to see the two Peters, right?
Yes. I mean, it's too bad that they both one held a gun to the other's head before anything. But,
Yeah, that's true. But Peter meeting aliens for the first time, he mentions aliens 18 million times. He thought Mantis was gonna lay eggs.
Let's just say one of those Peters I wouldn't take a bullet for.
Wow.
Anytime soon.
We'll get there. You're getting crazy though. You're getting crazy over there. But I like the little interaction between Tony Stark and Peter Quill and stuff like that, where Tony's like, we gotta do better than come at them with a plucky attitude, and Peter's like, dude, don't call us plucky. We don't know what that means. But then you get the line from the trailer where he's like, let me make up the plan so it could be better, and then Drax is like, tell him about the dance off that saved the universe.
It's like, what?
He goes, a dance off. It's not a thing. And he's like, in Footloose? Exactly like in Footloose. Is it still the greatest movie in history? It never was. And then seeing Star-Lord's face drop, it's so cool. Because Star-Lord is basically a man-child. And then Peter Parker is a child. So it's cool to see those two get into it. Do you want to want to talk all Peter, or you want to wait till we get to everybody?
I can wait.
Okay, cool. Let's give the next MVP award out to Odin's son.
Ooh, yes, Odin.
The god of hammers
I like this
himself,
order,
the
wow.
Lord of Thunder.
I love this order right now. Woo!
Thor. Tunnel vision from the jump.
Yeah, from the jump.
He
bro.
has to
Holy
witness.
crap.
He witnessed hours, seemingly, or days before his entire realm be destroyed by Surtur. He's witnessed his father die. He's witnessed his mother die. In the beginning of this film, he witnesses half his people and his brother be killed.
His sister presumably dead.
Sister is presumably dead, and he had to kill his sister by doing the Surtur stuff. Thor, man, I never felt connecting to this character until this film. I liked him in Ragnarok,
Hmm.
and that was the beginnings of making those connections.
Hmm.
But it was in this film where I'm like, this guy knows what's up. And from the second, like I said, the second he wakes up on the Guardian ship,
Hmm.
not only does he have tunnel vision, but he doesn't care who comes with him. He
Yeah.
was ready to go by himself. How do you feel about Thor's role in this film?
That was great. He was gonna jack the pot in
Yeah.
front of them at first, whether or
Feeding their
not,
food?
yeah, whether or not they were with it or not. Um, Boss all the way through, all the way throughout the whole freaking movie. It's difficult for me to pick the most boss thing for Thor in the movie because there's two things
Yeah.
that he hasn't that are real boss in the movie.
Yeah.
But damn man, boss.
I mean, I'm already counting 3, so
Well, there's two that I read that are up there for me.
might as
So
well.
it's like,
Hey,
it's
this is what we're
crazy.
here for.
So I got when he forges his weapon, he has to hold the
eyelid thing
the
open.
eyelid thing open, and he's just taking the full force of
of a dying star,
star.
man.
And then when freaking Thanos just tries to blast him with the Infinity Gauntlet with all
Yeah.
the stones, he just throws
Stormbreaker?
yeah, Stormbreaker,
Which he
and-
just made, like you
yeah,
just
he
said. He
just
just made
made,
that,
and then
yeah.
he just goes right through that and stabs him in the chest.
Yeah. So there's those 2 scenes, right? I'll even add 2 scenes. 'Cause like I said, he's an MVP.
Right.
So one of the scenes that obviously wasn't that badass, but that I loved was the conversation that he was able to have with
Rocket? Yeah,
right?
man, that was-
Because look, he's there with a rabbit and he's there with a tree. There's absolutely no reason to like emote. There's no reason to have like a deep heart-to-heart conversation. Actually, big ups on Rocket for realizing that that's a situation in which a captain would sit and talk to, you know.
And hold on, big ups on Thor for understanding Groot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. But-
taking it as an elective on Asgard.
But
as he said.
you know, Rocket is kind of like saying, like, you know, what's up with this forge thing? And he's like, oh, you know, it's the heart of a dying star. It's where Mjolnir was found, and we can get a weapon, a Thanos killing kind. And he goes, you know, I'm 1,500 years old. I've killed twice as many enemies as that, and every one of them would have rather killed me, but none succeeded. I'm only alive because fate wants me alive. And then my favorite, Thanos is just the latest along a line of bastards, and he'll be the latest to feel my vengeance. To feel my vengeance, fate wills it so. But saying like Thanos is the latest in a long line of bastards, like, you know, I don't even know if he 100% believed that then.
Right.
But man, you know, there was also a scene where we saw how much he lost. Like I said, the amount of loss. I think at this point, Thanos is the person with the most loss. I mean, Thor is the person with the most loss on the Avengers right now. I could be mistaken, but man, his entire family's gone.
Right.
Half his people are gone. One of the Russos was quoted on saying that Valkyrie escape pod. So we can see a situation in which when they first see that ship, as we see in the post credits for Thor Ragnarok, he's like, hey, take half of these and get out of here. On the Guardian ship, Thor says, he slaughtered half my people.
Right.
So there is half of the Asgardians are somewhere. So maybe we still get that like Asgard in Nebraska storyline that we were theorizing to happen. And then he gets Stormbreaker, which is another amazing part where we are seemingly losing the fight, and we see this weapon of literally mass destruction cut through the clouds.
And it can summon the Bifrost.
Yeah, so no more Heimdall.
That's gonna
Well,
be
you know.
handy.
So it takes out several of the Outriders, the mindless army of Thanos, and then hero landing, bro. He lands there and he's legitimately crackling with intensity, crackling with electricity. Amazing hero shot, and you're there with Rocket and Groot, and even Banner pops, right? Because Banner's been hanging out with him the whole
He's
time.
been hanging out with him, chilling. Oh, you guys screwed now.
You know, yeah, he goes, yeah, you
That was
guys
funny
are
'cause
screwed
he's the only
now.
one that knew, yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool to call back to that friendship that those two had, and you know, Banner seemingly thought he lost Thor.
Yeah, he thought he was dead.
He thought Thor was gone. Anything else you want to say about the God of Hammers?
The God of Hammers. Cool points for pushing the axe in. You know what I'm saying? For
Oh,
pushing
yeah.
Stormbreaker in, but you know.
And the callback, you know,
Yeah.
I told you would
I
die for
told
this. That's
you
what he
you'd
says
die
when
for
Heimdall
that.
died. I also liked when There's a part right where they're showing different aspects of what's going on in the fight in
Hmm.
Wakanda, and all he's doing is going through the spaceships. he's just
Oh
he's like a hot
yeah.
knife
Like
through
and
butter.
he
He's
goes up through one, right, and then he comes out of one, then he flies right into the other one
just
from the
taking
top.
them
Like,
out.
whoa, what the hell?
And it's like, yeah, man, we have a god on our side. Like, it was awesome to see Thor reach to realize to his full potential. So Thor is definitely one of the
Oh, and
MVPs.
his black suit. His black suit is money. I like that black suit. The black
Um,
she got going on.
Now you know
It's
Heath
nice.
Ledger. Heath Ledger got what's called a posthumous Oscar, meaning that he got one after he died, and more so that this was a very powerful performance. I'm gonna have to give
Mm.
an MVP award to somebody who's no longer with us, and that is one of the daughters of Thanos, Gamora. Between the flashback, the character development, her fighting Thanos when we thought that Thanos was
Yeah,
taken out, where
man.
she placed that blade in his neck and in his heart faster than I could have. If
We
me
gonna
and her
miss
were
you, my
fighting,
homegirl.
I'd be done. Seconds,
Yeah, I
seconds. I
wouldn't
was like,
last. Nope,
I do not have that
nope.
speed or that agility. She was able to take it to him. And even though it was a hologram of Thanos, it was incredible to see that speed. They say that she's one of the most fearless warriors in the
In the
galaxy, and
galaxy.
we haven't really seen that in Guardians all that much. So it was cool to see her deal with that. And Gamora and Thor also had some kind of cool interactions when Thor's laying
Yeah,
in the
I like
on the
what you
thing.
call Drax's reaction. Gamora, she's the daughter of Thanos.
Oh yeah, right, right.
Like, oh, like
I I also think that I'm such a fan. I'm so in the bag for these things that I got excited just when I heard people say each other's names. Like hearing Gamora say Thor, like
it's Thor.
Gamora knows
Yeah,
Thor.
Thor.
They're talking
I'm just
to
glad
each
they know
other.
each other now.
What
This
is
is
going
great.
on here? Amazing. Seeing like Bruce Banner with T'Challa. Like these combinations that we never saw before. And the thing is, you could have seen this movie by itself, just because of the strength of the writers, Marcus and McFeely, who, besides doing a bunch of like Chronicles of Narnia,
Mm.
they did every Cap, Civil War, Captain America, Civil War. What did I say? No, First Avengers, Civil War. I'm like, what the heck going on? First Avengers, Civil War. I think they even helped with the script of Thor: Dark World. But these guys have been on fire, and they're going to be writing the next one too. And because of their ability to write, and then the Russo's ability to direct, this film is amazing from start to finish, even if you have no context.
Right, right.
But don't get it twisted. This was made for
Yeah.
everyone who spent the time and money invested into this universe. While you could have seen it on its own, it wasn't for you.
But
If
if
you're
you
the ones if
waited,
you're the
oh
one
my
of the ones
goodness.
who's seen it on its own, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but it
Yeah.
wasn't for you.
Right.
All right, it wasn't. I have no problem saying that it wasn't. It's for us. It's for every one of us who stand there and waited
We
a half an hour
waited.
for a post credit scene, who popped for a trailer and shared trailers and shirts and casting news. Everybody who was waiting and counting down to this war, we were given Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg, and just so much.
It was the payoff. It was
It was rewarding. It was
beautiful.
truly rewarding. I don't feel like any of my time watching any of the
Beautiful.
MCU films was wasted, nor did I feel like any of the time watching this film was wasted. And that goes to show just what a great film it is. But last thing on Gamora is that sacrifice, bro.
Damn, man.
It was unwilling. It's not like she sacrificed herself. She damn near tried to kill herself. She tells Quill to kill her as soon as she is trapped by Thanos. How do you feel about Gamora, her pathos, her backstory, the emotions, just all of it? What is your final, I guess, opinion about the character if we don't ever get it
Well,
see her again?
I mentioned before that flashback was crazy. Um, the interaction he had with her to block her from seeing the I guess the
The
whole
massacre.
the whole massacre, um, and everything like. I like it's hard because they you can tell they tried so hard and it paid off and they gave us adult Gamora and now they gave us Thanos coming through and now she has to I guess tell him where the Soul Stone is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a big
You
bomb that was
know?
dropped. Was that Gamora knew where the Soul Stone was? The Soul Stone was on Volmir, um, and he ends up getting it, but at a cost, at a price. It's the only stone that you need to make a sacrifice for, and they
And it
did.
sucks because I knew it was gonna be her the moment they mentioned it,
Yeah,
and
he was. I mean, she was
because
the only
the
one
the
there.
first thing I called back to was when he was what Guardians 1,
Yeah,
my favorite daughter Gamora.
yeah. I
I
mean,
was
but
like, oh
another thing was she was the only
man,
one there. So as soon as they said a
yeah. So I was
sacrifice,
like,
a soul for a soul, I
whatever.
did the math. I'm surprised she didn't do the math. She was all like, "Ha ha! You don't got no one to sacrifice. You don't got no one to sacrifice."
You yelled at me? What?
Wait a minute, are those tears? Not for you. And then we get that sacrifice there. Heartbreaking scene. I didn't think they were gonna show her fall for as long as she did. I didn't think they
Yeah.
were gonna show her like where her legs snapped on the rocks and all that kind of stuff there. But they show it. They show it. You think Gamora's gone for good?
Um, I hope not, because I really dig Gamora.
I
So
think the fact that her and it meant it almost broke my heart when she told Quill like I love you more than anything, or like I love you more than anything I know, or
hmm
something like that, something crazy like that, where it was like these guys have really been on an adventure together, man, since breaking out of that prison and stealing that guy's leg. These guys have truly been on an adventure together. There are tons of more characters, so we're gonna move past the MVPs and just talk about the squads. Like I said, we already covered Thanos and the Black Order, aka the Children of Thanos.
hmm
We spoke a little bit about the Time Stone squad, we spoke about Iron Man, Strange, and Spider Man. But let's talk about who else is on that squad: Mantis, Drax, and Star Lord. So Drax
Mm.
is just hilarious from start to finish, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
as usual, as usual,
I
and
like the
butt kicking machine. So I'm not gonna.
I like the team of Drax and Mantis, man. I do. I like the
I do.
fact that she is optimistic about everything and doesn't even realize the silliness of what she's saying, whereas Drax is like the dry sarcasm. She's like the happy kind of doofus a little bit.
I
I don't
mean,
mean
they're
to be
both
mean.
they're both oblivious anyway. So
Mantis, you were thinking of considering putting a Mantis on the MVP list. You want to go ahead and explain that for the nice
yes, I mean
listeners?
she held it. I mean, she held it down just off the scene of holding Thanos down when Doctor Strange opened up the portal to jump on his, I guess, his neck, to put him under while they were taking off the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And I thought, to be honest, I didn't think she was gonna hold him down for that long. You know what I'm saying?
She
He's
also she
strong.
also feels the snap before everybody else does.
Oh yeah.
She also
Something
is the
is
one that
happening.
she's also the one that gets Nebula's call for help. When
Yes,
Nebula escapes,
yes.
she contacts
And they should meet
Mantis
me on Titan.
and tells them to meet on Titan. So Mantis was definitely there for that. Drax, incredibly emotional also, but you can't blame him because
Right.
of everything that went on there. Um, and
There was a point when he was when they were doing the standoff and he was telling Iron Man, "Do it."
oh
He was in
yeah,
his
yes,
bathroom. I can take it.
I can take
And
it.
then
And Mantis
Mantis
is like, no,
"No,
he
he
can't.
can't." That's funny.
Oh, because she
I don't
was
know
like
why I
legit
just thought
concerned.
about that.
How
That
do you
was
feel
so
about how do you
funny.
feel about her? What was it? War face. He's like, let's
Mantis
put
is
on the
a
war
Mantis
face.
is I'm gonna say Mantis is a low key gem, but you gotta keep your eyes peeled for Mantis.
She definitely is, man. I think that I'm so glad that they added another member of Guardians, and you would think that there's not enough jokes to go around, but she definitely is there and definitely has a lot of jokes. Star Lord.
Oh,
Let's start on the
we're
good
gonna
side.
talk.
Let's start on the good
I
side of
was about to
Star
say
Lord.
we're talking about that right now. Oh
Let's
man.
start on the good side of Star
All
Lord.
right, all
Matter of fact,
right,
only good stuff. Only
all
good
right.
stuff. We'll
Only
get
good
to the
stuff.
other
All
stuff later.
right, all right.
All right, Star Lord, man. Able to take it to Iron Man for a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Have
right?
him running around and stuff, looking for him.
He's
Shooting him.
taking it to humans. When was the last time? When was the last time Peter Quill saw a human? Long time ago,
Long
right?
time ago.
Long
You know,
time ago. Uh, I was gonna say how they're gonna bring him back to Earth.
he's got to go back to Earth
He can't go
eventually.
back now.
I mean, he can go back now.
But yeah, he's able to chop it up about movies with Tony Stark and Peter Parker and about Flash Gordon, things like that. Um, a slew of weapons. Stands up to Thanos twice, kind of, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Thanos refers to him as the boyfriend, and he refers to him as the Titan killing, like long term booty call. So
Mm-hmm.
that was cool. I love the interaction. I mean, the introduction of the Guardians in this movie, where they start playing that Rubber Band Man song, and everyone's
In a
just jamming
spaceship.
to it. And Gamora's usually not one to jam to it. Well, I mean, I guess that's wrong to say because we did see her tap her foot in Guardians 1 when they're playing Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Well, she's been coming around. She's coming around to the jams.
And when you're
And
playing
now
music
she's
on
fully
that ship
jamming.
24/7, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
there's gonna be
yeah,
one
hell
song
yeah.
that you know and you like, and you're like, oh, okay, I like this one. Let's go ahead with that. So that's the Time Stone squad. Those guys were on Titan for the most part, trying to make sure that Time Stone didn't get captured. That's Iron Man, Strange, Spider-Man, Mantis, Drax, and Star-Lord. Now let's talk about one of my favorite teams, the what I call Secret Avengers, which is the team of Captain America, Steve Rogers, the Black Widow, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, and Vision. Amazing introductory scene. Every theater I went to erupts when Captain America shows up. I have missed Captain America. I forgot how much I missed Captain
too, man.
America. The movie's going on just what 20 minutes, and it's not. There's not. I know he's coming, right? But I still react the way I've always wanted to. I was so happy to see him. I was so happy to see him, and I was so happy to see that he had no hard feelings to Rhodey. That how cool he was with Black Panther. Black Panther, besides, because we are past the hype of Iron Man, right?
Right.
We know Iron Man is basically the godfather of the MCU. Black Panther is probably one of the coolest characters in the MCU right now, with his backstory, his suit, his powers, all that. And to know that Cap is in with that guy, like he's in with the guy that just walks, he passes the line and walks into the club.
With the king, B.
He's cool with the king. I thought that was amazing. Props to Falcon for sticking with Cap throughout. Come on, bro. Like they're wanted criminals.
Staying on the left,
They're wanted criminals. Shout outs to Widow. She has new hair.
New dude.
And I think she chose her side. At least I chosen a side. I always think of that from X-Men. But at least she chose her side with Cap there. And then you have the couple, man. You have Scarlet Witch and Vision. And Vision was seemingly
booze.
tortured from sun up to sundown.
Yeah,
in
throughout
this
the
film.
whole movie. Jeebus.
How do you feel about that relationship? How do you feel about Vision's role in this
I
film?
mean, I was glad. It kind of mirrors the comics. Not all the way, but loosely.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we get that. I wasn't expecting to like what they had going on as much as I did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So to see them actually I guess date and see each other back and forth is actually kind of cool.
I almost wonder if we would have been approving of the build.
Mr.
Right?
Roboto.
We come in and they're already a couple, so it's easy to jump into that already. The same way when we came in, remember when randomly Natasha and Hulk were a couple? Like we missed something that happened, and so they're just gonna act like they don't have to catch us up on it. And so I wonder if we saw them flirting throughout movies. I mean, you got a little bit of that in Civil War, but I feel like that's when people rolled their eyes. They're like,
Right.
But I thought they were sweet here. The whole like, what do you feel? I only feel you. Stuff was pretty cool. Elizabeth Olsen, I think, acted her ass off in this
Yeah,
film.
for real.
Between looking shocked at the news report that there were aliens,
She gets better and better as a Scarlet Witch every time I see her.
various she's
Kicking butt
constantly.
with her powers.
Now
Oh
you
my
say
God.
you say she gets better and better, which makes me think of Age of Ultron, which is where she debuted, and from Age of Ultron and then Avengers, stressed, man.
Right.
She's stressed. I mean, from Age of Ultron to Civil War, like she's blamed for the thing
For the bomb, for the explosion.
and put on house arrest, and then she's basically working for the villain in Age of Ultron until she's not, and then her brother dies. So that's somebody else who's also experienced a lot of loss is Scarlet Witch. Do you think they're setting her up to be a bigger character moving forward?
I'm not too sure, but I hope she gets a more prominent role.
Is there
But if
room
they
on the
do-
team for Scarlet Witch when there's a Doctor Strange, or maybe Doctor Strange helps her kind of figure out all that stuff? Huh?
Maybe that could be a thing too, but we're also about to get Captain Marvel, so we gotta watch out.
Yeah.
But I do hope they treat her as such. She does have seniority a little bit.
And she does. She does deserve that respect. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about Scarlet Witch and Vision right now. I want to say with Cap, we didn't get enough of Cap in this, in my personal opinion, which means that we're gonna get a whole bunch
Right.
in the next one, which I'm
Yeah.
excited for. But this is the thing, and tell me if you agree with me on this. While we didn't get a lot of Cap, in this film, something that went on, something that continued on with him, that continued on with almost everybody in here, was that even though they didn't have a lot, he did exactly what I thought he would do. Every time. Every time I saw him, he did exactly what Captain America
Right.
would do,
It's
and that
funny.
just shows that they know this character.
It's funny you say that because the first time when you said that, the first thing I thought about was when he came through to meet Rhodey,
Yeah,
and Ross was there. What-
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt Ross. He was a hologram.
Yeah,
Hologram Ross is what I wanted to
hologram
say.
Ross, right?
So and then he told me, he was like, "You get in my way, we'll fight you too." I was
Yeah.
like, classic
Like,
cat,
that's
bro.
him, like,
I was like,
we-
classic cat.
we
Get out of my
passed
way.
it.
Let me defend Earth. That's it.
Watching him and Panther run ahead of the pack,
Oh man, that was stupid awesome.
amazing,
Oh,
man. And the thing is, they're
you're
not
like,
running. They're not
yeah.
running because they know they have the most powerful weapons. They're not running there because they know that they can beat more
let's
people
go,
than anybody
King.
else. It's just we gotta lead.
Yeah,
We're
let's
leading
go.
these people, and the only way to lead is you lead from the front, Cap.
That
Man,
was
he got
cool
me amped just talking about
because
it.
before I knew it, when I started, I was like, "What's going on?" Oh crap!
And you just see them go.
Black Panther and freaking Cap are running with each other.
And the last time we saw this, they were running after each other, right?
Yeah, that was
So
cool.
I thought that was
And
pretty
they were
cool too.
booking it.
I thought that was pretty cool too. So let's leave the Secret Avengers there. Let's go to Team Stormbreaker, Thor, Rocket, and Groot, aka Thor, Rabbit, and Tree.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that dynamic of Rocket as almost the brain? He was the brains of that group.
Almost. I mean, he was the only one that knew how to work a ship, so
Yeah, that's true.
so
Thor just presses buttons and it says strongest Avenger.
or try to punch in a 4-digit code.
Like a birthday or something. I'm like, they got birthdays.
But that was great. Thank you so much, Groot, for giving us your hand as a handle
Yes.
for the Stormbreaker.
Groot sacrificing
Thank
his
you
hand.
very
Teenage
much.
Groot. You know how hard it is to get a teenager to sacrifice for anything?
We appreciate that. Yes, because we were trying to tell him to put the game down. The
He
whole
would not
movie.
put that game of Defender down. If it wasn't for Team Stormbreaker, we wouldn't get the Thanos killing weapon. So I like that. All the I Am Groot stuff. But I'm telling you, the crux of that team was that rabbit stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Every time he said rabbit, I was
Sweet
in
rabbit.
tears. More power, rabbit.
Thank you, Rabbit.
Thank you,
The
rabbit.
engine Rabbit.
He goes, the rabbit is correct and seemingly the smartest of all of you. I assume you are the captain? He's like, yeah, you're pretty smart. I thought all that stuff was cool, and you like that too, right? When Peter Quill was saying, the only reason why you're going over there is because that's where Thanos ain't. He's like, hey, calm down there, Quill. I want to talk to your
You don't
captain
talk
like
to your
that.
captain like that.
Oh, that was amazing. But that was Team Stormbreaker. Then you have Wakanda, which is the Dora Milaje, or more specifically Okoye.
Oh yeah.
Black Panther, his sister Shuri, and Bucky. Bucky's been chilling. Now, I have a little question about that because they say, like, what about him? He goes, the white wolf has rested long enough or something like that. And I'm like, have they really just been letting him chill?
I think so. They had
Right?
to. Yeah.
Like, they just let him vacation in Wakanda? That's kind of cool, considering. This is the man he thought killed his father.
Like, we're gonna hold you down until a fight comes. And
But
then
when
we'll
if
give you
the
this
fight
arm.
comes, you better be ready.
Yep.
And they brought him his arm, and
Yo, I'm gonna just say right now, that arm was beautiful.
gorgeous, man.
That
That thing was
Beautiful.
gorgeous.
It was dark and it had like
It was like a
gold
charcoal
stripes.
and
Yeah,
it,
that
go,
was
and it
awesome,
had
man.
gold on it.
Shoot.
I also like that when he showed him the arm, the first thing that Bucky says is, "Where's the fight?"
On
where's
his
the fight?
way.
And there, T'Challa says, "On its way." And Wakanda stands together.
Yep.
Man, T'Challa, you know how to command the people because they all stand together. Okoye also is out there on her own majority of the time taking these things out. And is there anyone else besides Okoye that can make you giggle with just a facial expression? Right? Some of her reactions, like she reacts to Bruce bugging out in the Hulkbuster, and then the Hulkbuster trips,
Oh,
and then they drive by, and she gives him like this look of disgust, like amazing. Denai Guerrero is killing it. Walking Dead doesn't seem to be doing too good, so I'm glad she found her place in Wakanda and is able to do all that there. Last but not least, the group I would like to cover is the daughters, the actual daughters of Thanos, between Gamora and Nebula. We spoke here about Gamora, but let's talk a little bit about Nebula. Nebula, who we last saw in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, en route to kill Thanos. Thanos says in this film that she got close, but she didn't, and they use her and they torture her so that Gamora reveals where the Soul Stone is. Nebula was also tortured in the comics too, so that's something that is comic book
Pretty
accurate.
true.
But Nebula is also grabs onto the Infinity Gauntlet, so people think that she may have a bigger role in the next film, and she didn't disappear in this one. How do you feel about Gamora's role in this film and her relationship with her father? At one point, her father said you should have killed. She says to her father like you should have killed me when you had the chance, and her father's like that'd be a waste of
Be a
parts.
waste of parts.
It's like
Damn, man.
really, really Thanos.
I guess he really ain't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just glad her and Gamora were on the same page. Like
They rarely are,
officially,
yeah.
officially, and finally, because they've been beefing since
I
day
would
one.
love to see them side by side. Hopefully, there's a situation that
Right.
brings all these heroes on screen and we get to see these guys, that
Mm-mm,
side by side. But both women
mm-mm.
did really, 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 really well. MIA, and I'm not counting the post credit, is Nick Fury, Maria Hill, Ant Man, and Hawkeye. We are told Ant Man and Hawkeye are on house arrest. And Nick Fury and Maria Hill are just hanging out. We see in the post
Doing
credit.
things, I guess.
Now there's no shield, so there's no one for them to work for. So there's that. Not to my knowledge, I haven't watched Agents of Shield. If you guys have any knowledge of that, let me know. Is Nick Fury like a intern? What's going on there? But they are MIA. I was kind of hoping to see Ant-Man and Hawkeye in this, but they have almost been confirmed. Anything but confirmed for next movie. Ant-Man has his own movie coming up next month or 2 months from now, and I'm semi excited to see it. It's gonna be Marvel, so I'm going to see it. But after this, it's like, what do you want to show me? Show me the rest of the war. What are you doing? Were you missing any of those guys? Is there anybody else you would have wanted to see?
I was missing Hawkeye. I heard he had a new due. I heard he made his way to some promotional stuff.
Yeah,
So I kind of missed him.
you want to see what
I
new
wanted
digs
I wanted
Hawkeye
to
was
see
in?
who's gonna come out the quiver, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think right now if there's anybody I would like to have seen. Like I said, I want to see the Grandmaster in the next one. I would love to see Jeff Goldblum return and see what that means to everything. Valkyrie is out there. Korg is out there with Meek. Hopefully, maybe they could join in on the fun. The Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm not even talking about my Guardians. What are the chances we get the OG Guardians of the Galaxy? Sylvester Stallone with his boys. What if they come through, right? They're out there. Seemingly, they would want revenge for what ends up happening. And seeing as we're talking about what ends up happening, I have written down 5 things that we need to discuss before this podcast ends. And the number one thing is the snap. The snap heard around the world. This is the reason why you guys are even listening to this. You want to hear our take on the snap. Thanos, with all the jewels, the gems, the stones, and the Infinity Gauntlet, is able to snap his fingers. And at several points, we are told that when he does this, half of existence will cease to exist. How did you feel about the snap? Did you think the snap was gonna happen? And what do you think happened?
I don't know. It was bananas because they teased it like twice throughout the whole movie.
Yes.
So I didn't know. I didn't know that was the actual thing he wanted to do. So it actually seemed like it was the thing he actually wanted to do, and he actually said it was the thing that he actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
So and then he did it after taking a Stormbreaker to the chest. So
Yes, exactly.
I kind of got to give him props to that.
A weapon
you
forged
know?
by a dying star. So,
So-
it's definitely not easy. He snapped,
Mhm.
and then they go to the soul. What I believe is the soul world, which is
In the soul stone.
yeah, the soul world exists inside the soul stone. And the soul stone itself, you know, uh, we were told that it had different properties.
Hmm.
It had different properties than the
How
other
is the
stones,
souls of the?
and we were also told that it has a certain kind of wisdom.
Hmm.
Remember that? We'll talk about that guy too
Interesting.
in a little bit. But yeah, the soul stone. Weird from comic book knowledge. All I knew about the soul stone was that it allowed the user to steal and control and manipulate, and I guess altered also, living and dead souls.
Hmm.
But a big part about it in the comics is that there's a pocket dimension in there called the Soul World,
Right.
and that's where Adam Warlock was for some time. A little bit of confusion because in the comics the Soul Stone is green.
Mm.
It's also on Adam Warlock's forehead,
Mm.
so there's that. But
Interesting.
yeah, at full potential, the Soul Gem grants control over all life in the universe. So Thanos seemingly has all life. We never saw what the Soul Stone did. We see that all the stones are used in various different ways, but we never actually see what the Soul Stone did.
Right.
Um, and you see that with full power, you're able to take control of
Of
all of
all of
the
it.
lives.
All of it.
But after Gamora talks to him, in the soul world and asks him,
Uh-huh.
did you do what you did? What did it cost? And he says everything. We come back. The gauntlet is smoldering,
Is in shambles on his
and it's
hands.
in shambling, and he leaves. At this moment, we've known the snap has taken place. What is going through your head?
I
Do you
don't even know.
are you expecting to see
I don't even
50%
know.
of people disappear?
I'm in shock. I don't even know what's going on. What just happened? Um, w- People didn't die right away, so I'm just like, okay, the snap didn't work, but did it work? What
I
the hell is
actually
going
thought it
on?
didn't work because when the gauntlet was looked
Right, right.
mangled, I thought that maybe he did it wrong or it broke or
I
then.
looked at I was looking at the jewels too, the stones, and they seemed to be pretty intact. They nothing, no, not a scratch on them.
And they got to be at least a little bit usable because he was able
Yeah,
to
get out of
transport
there. Yeah, yeah,
out
yeah.
using the same the space stone. But yeah, snap happens, and because things don't happen right away,
Hmm.
I kind of forgot about it. And when the thing is mangled, I'm like, oh, I guess it didn't work. And then Bucky says Steve,
Oh
and
my
we turn
god.
around and we see Bucky disappear out of nowhere. And then we see characters that we've been cheering for this whole movie.
Characters that we
T'Challa,
just got
the
introduced to.
Guardians,
Yes, T'Challa.
all the Guardians. Mantis, Quill, Drax. You know, I think what
Oh
was
my
I think what
god.
was even I think what also broke my heart too was watching the entire field of Wakandans because
Yeah, because
it,
everybody was just. I was like, oh
in
my
the
god,
other
what
in
the
the other
hell?
scenes we seeing just a small group of people. But to see like whole hordes of armies just disappear and the people who are left going like, what do we do? What's going on? Was absolutely crazy. Put yourself in those shoes. What do you do? Is there anything to do?
I don't wouldn't know what to do. Thanos got all the stones. He's got him on the gauntlet. The gauntlet is shattered.
And he's gone. No one
Thor
knows where he's
just
at,
stabbed him in the chest with Stormbreaker. He split right after that.
and he's still
So
alive.
now what? Where is he? Everybody's seemingly gone, dead. Oh my god.
It was a lot.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
it was a lot.
Somebody call the police.
we got a missing persons report. By the way, I was thinking about that. I was thinking like Jessica Jones is gonna be like, my son went missing. Lady, get in line. There's like 50 people here waiting for me to find that out. Um, but yeah, people start to disappear, and I guess we're gonna have to talk about it. Spider-Man, man. Spider-Man disappears. That probably the most painful
Yeah,
loss
that
in the
hurt me.
film. I was definitely lost with Bucky only because Bucky didn't seem to know what was going on.
Right,
And
right.
that hurt.
At all, right?
That hurt. Like the idea that he, that well, the same thing. Like none of us know what's going on, but it's even worse to see somebody who's getting affected by it not know what's going
Hmm.
on. So that hurt. And like Peter says, I don't feel so good.
Yeah,
Uh,
that broke my heart, dude. I was in the theater and I called it right away. I was like, it was the minute he said Mr. Stark, I was like, oh man,
oh,
here we
you
go.
already knew.
Yeah, here we go. Because I know Peter like that.
Yeah.
Like spiritually.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
he's your homeboy.
so I felt it. I was like, oh my god. I put my head down for like 2 seconds, but I didn't want to put my head down for too long because I waited 10 years for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So I gotta watch this all. And, oh my god,
And
bro.
they had such a mentor mentee relationship
Yeah,
this entire
man. And he
film.
kind of disappeared in Tony's hands. Oh my god.
Something that I noticed, I had to watch the scene a million times, but something that I noticed, you have the whole Mr. Stark, right? I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to
Mhm.
go stuff. Two things I noticed. One, he seemingly puts on a brave face right before he goes.
Right.
He looks at Tony in the
Right.
face, and then it's like, and he apologizes. But when he apologizes, I don't want to bring more
Right.
tears to
Right.
the. I don't want to bring more tears to the table, but he calls him Tony.
Yeah.
He doesn't say Mr.
Yeah,
Stark
it was
anymore. He calls him
Tony.
Tony. They're equals at that point. They're peers, and this little kid, who again was ready for everything, who again saved tons of lives, who again was always,
I was
seemingly
so
from the
sad.
first movie is in over his own head.
If that probably didn't happen, I probably wouldn't have woke up so messed up the day after.
Cold sweat.
Jesus, man.
But yeah, the kid that always was in over his own head but never gave up. The kid who turned down being an Avenger because he knew his role, and then eventually got it back, and was knighted, and how proud he was to be knighted by his mentor in that instance. The kid who got a brand new suit,
Hmm.
all of that and more is gone. Is seemingly gone in this moment, and yeah, man, it was a lot. You get to you see everybody gone, and I prior to watching this film, I was telling everybody at work, anybody that saw me,
Hmm.
that I was gonna go see old friends.
Yeah.
On April 26th, because we saw it the day before, I'm gonna go see old friends, and I was watching my friends disappear into
Hmm.
nothingness, and I didn't have answers. No one had answers. People in the audience were gasping, "What the heck?" And
Hell yeah.
you could
Jesus.
you
Um,
we the phases of grief, right?
mm,
We people were like didn't know what was going on, then got angry, got
you know
sad,
what? You know
got
what kind of killed me too? Seeing Cap sitting there after everything was done, like, oh my
and he
God,
always knows what to
and
do.
yeah, and he's got nothing. Nobody's got nothing, especially him. He's on the floor,
But
just
also
where Bucky disappeared.
the other side of that coin too, Tony,
Tony and Nebula are still stuck
he
in space.
Peter died in his or disappeared in his arms, and he places those arms to his face
Mm.
because he was just
Yeah,
here.
I know.
He was just here. How he was just here. So now that we talk about the snap, the actual effects of the snap, which we believe it removed 50% of the universe away from removed them from existence. One thing is everyone's asking, is everybody dead? And I think that's the wrong question to ask. I
Mhm.
think it's a distinction of not dead or alive, but here and gone. And yes, they are all gone. None of them
Mhm.
are on Earth. Um, People wanted to know dead or not because they
Well, if you're
feel that.
asking me, I'm telling everybody they're dead,
Well,
dead, dead, dead.
my opinion is gone, and I have to use those
But
words.
gone seems to be the more correct way to
I
say
have to
it.
use the words gone because I believe that they're coming back.
Yeah.
My theory is that they're
At least
coming
some of
back.
them, but we're just gonna say all of them
And you
right
guys are
now.
here, so you guys are here, and you guys can hear my theory. Seeing as we're here talking about the snap, but I believe that Doctor Strange, who was one of the MVPs of this film, somebody that we said would never give up the time stone. He'd let Peter Parker and Tony Stark die before he did. Gave up the time stone to Thanos. At various points, he is asked at least twice by Stark. Why? Why? The first time he tells Stark, we're in the end game. The second time he tells Stark, it was the only way. Tony, it was the only way. So I believe that Doctor Strange um, saw a future in which Thanos won, but eventually the Avengers won. He said he only saw one future, one possible future in which they win. But I think that look that he gives Iron Man when he
Mhm.
says only one is a look of and half the universe goes.
Mhm.
It's only one, and I have to trust that not only is it right to give him this stone and let these events take place, but the person that seemingly saves the rest of us has to come up with the idea on their own. I'm gone.
Yep.
So that's a lot of
And
trust
you're
for
the
it.
only one that knows.
And it's a situation where, yes, he's the only one who knows. And I would even say, as somebody who's watched The Flash, he
Yep.
probably couldn't tell
You
anyone
can't tell anyone. Nope.
because that would affect the timeline. The stuff, and so because of that, I believe that the only way to defeat Thanos was to give Thanos exactly what he wanted. In the comics, Thanos is known to sabotage himself because of his own hubris, just because he doesn't feel like he deserves the power, even though he wants it and wants to wield it. At the end of the day, the guy's just kind of happy being a farmer. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Um, but we get that middle finger. He gets his ending. Thanos got the happy ending at the end of this film.
We waited 10 years for them to rip our heart out, and they did.
And
They
then we
didn't
get
even
Marvel
say
Studios
sorry.
presents Avengers Infinity War, and then that disappears into dust too. And I was like, you
Yeah,
guys have
yeah,
broken my heart
that,
way too many times.
that was a
But
douche. That was a douchebag move right there.
we did see the Soul World, and like I said, I believe that all the people who disappeared, except for the ones that were actually physically killed,
Right.
are inside the Soul Gem. And I think that because the gauntlet is broken, Thanos will be brought to the Soul World at various parts of the next movie, and they will all like guilt trip him into
Hmm.
or guilt trip them or just drive them crazy into
Madness.
releasing them.
Oh, okay. That works too.
So that's one. Two, it could just be a thing of regret where he realizes he has no friends or family anymore, and little Gamora just taunts him so much, or was it worth it? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? To the point where he's like, no, I much rather have had my family. I will use the time stone to go back right before that happened, and then and make sure that the Gamora stays alive.
Mm.
So there's an idea there, or the heroes in the soul gem stone fight their way out. They're able to find some kind of way. Maybe they fight him on the soul plane, and
Hmm.
not the movie. That was a terrible movie. But fight him on the soul plane, the astral plane, and then bust out of the
But
soul gem. But
Doctor's
so
in
if you
there.
guys wanted therapy, if you guys wanted some answers, those are my answers. I believe that no one is dead. Everyone is gone,
Mhm.
and those that are gone are inside the soul gem. As long as the gem exists, the
Mhm.
souls exist, which means we might be getting all our heroes back.
Back.
Fingers crossed. Obviously, a lot of these guys were set up for movies, sequels to their movies and stuff like that. But I'll tell you one thing: when I watched this movie, I watched it in a vacuum. I was not thinking about contract
It was
negotiations,
crazy.
how many contracts people had left, movies that they had left. Why watch a movie like that, right? Why watch a movie like, oh well, the set photos revealed? I get being an insider and knowing all those things. I'm as passionate as the next guy when
When
it
it
comes
comes
to
to
this
something
stuff.
like, but when it comes to something like this,
You're only
nah,
meant to
man.
experience it. You have to
Yeah, man.
experience it. That's the reason why I couldn't
Don't
spoil
cheat
it.
yourself.
You have to experience it.
Treat
And so
yourself.
after getting this incredibly tremendous, ending, an ending that seemingly everybody's going to talk about, uh, I felt like I felt hopeless. You felt hopeless. We were walking home like, what the heck just happened?
Depressed. Everybody went home feeling the same.
And
Just
so this theory has been
head
one I've been
down.
crafting since then to give you guys peace of mind, to let you guys sleep well at night, knowing that it's not over, man. It's not over. Not only is it not over, we are not only is it not over, but we have the OG Avengers.
Yes.
The Phase One
Back at it
Avengers.
again.
Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor, Black Widow, Rhodey. We are here. They are here. We are here, and they're gonna be seemingly the ones to save the new school and possibly sacrifice themselves in the process.
You
Um,
watch your mouth.
Speaking of new school,
You
we
watch
also
your
got
mouth.
a tease for Captain Marvel. Apparently, that Nick Fury called in
Yeah.
the big guns. Captain Marvel has been
Baby.
alerted to what's going on in New York. What do you think Captain Marvel's relationship is with Nick Fury? What do you think goes on in her movie that is a connecting tissue to Thanos and the
I don't
Infinity
know,
War?
but I know of her, so she's gonna be mean serious business when she comes through. So with all her powers,
She is an incredibly powerful cosmic being. I know that.
yes.
I know that for a fact. But also, she her movie's gonna take place in the '90s, so her relationship with Nick Fury will be 20 years
Will
in deep.
be will
30
be
years
will
deep.
probably be Harry.
Yeah, oh my
Ha ha
God.
ha ha.
I get
Yeah,
it. I
'cause
get
Nick
it. I
Fury
get it. Yeah,
doesn't
I
have
did
any
see Nick
hair.
Fury with hair in
Yeah.
some shots. Something interesting that I found out though, Vormir, the
Mhm.
planet with the Soul Stone,
Mhm.
uh, is in the Kree galaxy. Isn't that interesting? If you didn't know, Captain Marvel
Interesting.
is a humanoid, a
Uh-oh.
female who gets her powers from a Kree, Marvel. And using the alien powers with her human physiology allows for some fantastical powers and allows her to be as powerful as she is. Any chance Captain Marvel's film is about the Soul Stone
That'll be cool.
and her putting it on Vormir? We
Ooh.
also, Nick Fury saw this and pressed this button. Maybe he's seen this before, right? And if souls have been taken before, wouldn't they look this way? Isn't this how it looks when the Soul Stone takes souls?
The
So
plot thickens. You
the,
see? You see?
that's what you're
And
here for, though.
maybe some clarity.
You came here for connecting dots, and I've been doing my homework. I'm trying to get you guys the answers that you want. So yes, Captain Marvel is of Kree, lineage. Not blood, but she does get her power from the Kree, and Vormir is in the Kree galaxy. So maybe there is something to Thanos' first goings on with the gauntlet, with the stones, and with Captain Marvel. Maybe he knows Captain Marvel and not in a good way. Maybe the last time that they scrapped, it wasn't to his best interest
Hmm.
because he has lost before. Remember that. He has lost. So as far as answers are concerned, that's what we got for you. But a couple of things we have to tackle before we get out of here, and that's Star-Lord's outburst.
Boo! Don't bring him back. There's
I,
only room for one Peter.
I'm going to
Boo!
defend. I'm going to defend Star-Lord. A lot of people are saying it's his fault as to why all the events happened.
I don't know all the events, but it's
First and foremost, if you've heard my theory, then you know that everything had to happen exactly how it's supposed to. Doctor Strange saw the future, and so this was the only way it could
had
happen.
to go
Everything that happened, from Vision's death to turning back time, all that kind of stuff, is exactly what Doctor Strange saw. And so, I mean, should he have done it? Probably not, but trust me, everything was going to go that way anyway, regardless of what happened.
Damn
But
you, Peter Quill.
yes, but Peter
We
Quill
had to
does.
glow.
Nah, he does. He gets emotional once he finds out about Gamora's death and attacks Thanos. Right when they seemingly are getting the gauntlet off of his hand, he fingertips away. So a lot of people had a lot of anger towards Star-Lord for that. I have to defend my man for that, especially because the person who was trying to talk him out of it was Tony Stark, and Tony Stark had the same emotional reaction when he found out that Bucky killed his parents. So it was like, you're being a little bit hypocrite. Now, yes, this is the fate of the galaxy, but emotions are going to be emotions. You can't
Whatever.
you can't blame
Whatever.
you can't blame
Okay?
Quill for his half human.
Stupid Quill.
Remember what he said. If he's being an idiot, it's all the human side of him. That's what he was quoted on. Let's talk about the Hulk,
Afraid.
or the lack of a Hulk.
Afraid.
From the
He got
beginning
his
of the
butt.
movie,
He got his butt kicked.
from the beginning of the movie, man, we see these two guys go at it like heavyweight boxers, just haymakers and knees and all kinds of craziness. And Thor does stand back and watch as Thanos takes it to the Hulk in a way we've never seen it before.
Thanos hits Hulk in a place that makes the Hulk be like, oh my god, what the hell was that? And
Yeah,
then
the
he
first
just-
time, like a
that's when he
kidney
just-
shot, like some
That's
kind of
that's when he just takes it to him, and it's like a downhill
pressure
from there.
points or something like that, where
Downhill
he's
from
able
there,
to
man.
he's able to dismantle this monster, and that's the last time we see Hulk. When Heimdall sends Hulk down to Earth, he's Bruce Banner for the rest of the film and refuses to come out as Hulk. How did you feel about it being Bruce Banner for the majority of this film, and how did you do you think that we'll get Hulk in the next?
I do hope Hulk does man up eventually and come out. I would like to see Thanos come up to Banner as Banner, and then just
And then Hulk out.
that thing he did with the Chitauri. I want him to do that to Thanos.
Yeah.
That'll
I'm always
nice.
angry, right?
Or just not even, just throw a punch as Banner, and then at last second he'll turn to the Hulk and doom, send him across the field or said plane. So I want to see more Hulk in the next movie. So hopefully he mans up. But we do know he is very afraid because he just got his butt whooped by the Mad Titan. So
I'm also very glad that even if we couldn't get him, I thought that the reasoning was pretty solid.
yeah, hell yeah. And
Sometimes
we've never seen Thor get his butt whooped. So
I like
especially on one like that. So
Hulk.
even though he did fight Thor.
Yeah,
but
yeah. And
this
then
is
Hulk-
different.
Yeah. This was seemingly to the death. I'm pretty sure he thought he killed that man before that all that other stuff happened. Um. So yeah, there's Hulk. Bruce Banner did well. I like that he connected a lot of the dots between people. He's
Yeah,
the one
that
who
was
told.
great.
He's the
Yeah.
one taking the Silver Surfer role and warning everybody with these grave
Thanos is
warnings of
coming.
like, he goes, Thanos is coming. He's coming, and I thought that was a perfect way to start that film, and you can't do it with another character than the Hulk. So thank you, Mark Ruffalo, for attaching yourself since Avengers 1 and being our Hulk, man. You don't get your own film, but you kind of
You're
you kind of
lit.
killing it, you know? Um, Before we get to our last major thing we got to talk about, I just wanted to add in that I was able to speak to other comic book clickers saw this movie. GT Rebirth says that it was nothing he expected, but everything he wanted, and he can't wait for next year. And his favorite scene was Thor entering Wakanda.
Ooh,
And
that's mean. I can't argue with that. That's super mean.
That's a
Louis
great
had
hero
hit
shot.
Louis had hit me up right after he seen it, and he was distraught. He's like,
Yeah.
"That happened. I just watch."
Yeah, we spoke
People
to Dan.
dying. I'm like, oh my god, bro.
We spoke to Dan, the comic man, and he had all kinds of feels. He definitely felt the Peter Parker
He
death.
started the he was one of the people that started the disappearing thing on Facebook.
Yeah, he came
Yeah,
up with I have to credit Dan. My picture of me is me cosplaying as Captain America and also fading away. So thank you, Dan, the comic man. for that. You are definitely here in spirit. Speaking of here in spirit, Yogi says he loved the movie 9.5 out of 10. He was mentioning to a friend how it was similar to Empire Strikes Back,
Hmm.
especially with that ending. And he's saying that the Luke, I am your father moment is as, how people remember that is how people are going to remember the end of this film, whether it be the snap or
Right.
just the sitting there with a smile.
Crazy, bro. Bananas. I
But
mean,
definitely, man.
9.5. You gotta make. I mean, you gotta make room for the next one. So that one's gonna be the 10.
And also, Marvel had gotten this reputation of just being so kiddie, so happy, so joyful.
Oh man, no
And
games
so,
this time coming
no
around.
games. We
No,
gave you
no
all the
jokes.
joy. We
No
gave you
jokes
18
from
movies of
Thanos or
joy.
nothing. Not even from his children or anything like that. Straight business.
And
Oh my goodness.
at several points in this film, they do their best to make us feel like we got it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it.
Oh
There's
my
a dome. There's a
gosh.
dome, hologram dome that's keeping us safe. Oh, we got it. Oh, Hulk, Stormbreaker's here. We got it. Secret Cap's here. We got it.
But guess
And
what? Thanos got it.
Thanos been had it. Thanos had it a week ago apparently, and that's it. Last but not least, let's talk about the Red Skull, the cameo of all cameos. I did not expect this man to appear. It's not Hugo Weaving.
Nope.
Nope. But
I
we
wouldn't have
do.
been able to tell if
We do.
you didn't tell me that earlier.
Well, it turns out that the actor who was playing Red Skull is an impressionist,
Yeah.
so that actually makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
How do you feel about Red Skull being back? Do you think he's back for good?
Great, and it makes perfect sense that he got sent there and transported by the Tesseract.
I'm actually
Um,
surprised that he didn't like warn Thanos away from it.
hmm.
He seemed like fine, like if you want to take it, you can take it. Just need a sacrifice. But I thought he'd be like, "Oh, you don't want this. I tried this. Look where I'm at. Trust me, this is not what you want." It would be cool to see him come back because according to him, time moves different there, and he's been there for like hundreds of years.
Right, I guess.
Where it's only been probably like 100 years or something like that. So a Red Skull with all that in his mind, with a regular humanoid body, would be awesome if he was able to come back.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, so that's the whole Red Skull thing. Red Skull.
And it was great because the first bad guy for the last bad guy.
Yes, and they
That
did a
was-
lot of those callbacks.
that
Now,
was-
thank
that
you,
was
because
it.
Red Skull is literally chronologically the first bad guy
Right.
that faces against any Avenger in Captain America: First Avenger. Loki, the main villain for Phase 1, is killed by Thanos. He's able to kill Thanos.
Body bags.
So Thanos meets the oldest villain, the first villain of MCU Phase 1, and then he takes out Vision, who took out Ultron, who was the big villain of Avengers: Age of Ultron. So he literally overshadowed everybody.
It's going down in these streets, ladies and gentlemen.
They stood him. They stood him to compare with everybody. And guess what, man? Thanos rules. Thanos rules all. Skull. Hopefully he does come back because there is no Soul Stone now.
No. So now where is he?
Yeah. But man, great movie, amazing movie. I have yet to call it my favorite movie just because of how it makes me feel.
It's my favorite.
It's hard for me to separate how it makes me feel versus.
And I love Civil War. You know.
I've
so,
seen it 4 times so far already. So if for a movie I quote unquote it's not my favorite, I've surely seen it a lot. But I know that all this talk has depressed you guys. So I decided to compile some of the funniest quotes of the film to leave things off on a light. Are you ready for this
Yes.
this field trip? All right. How about you remember this one? I'm gonna ask you this one time. Where's Gamora? Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who is Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Drax
Oh,
again.
that was so funny. One of my other favorite lines. Meet my friend here. Oh no, he goes, Thor, you got a haircut. I see. And he goes, yes, I see you
see you
also
copied
copied my beard. And then he goes, and that's my friend there, the tree. And then Groot goes, I am Groot. And then Steve Rogers goes, I am Steve Rogers. Just so good. So good. Okoye. When you said you're gonna open Wakanda to the rest of the world, that's not what I imagined. And T'Challa's like, "What did you imagine?" She goes, "The Olympics, maybe a Starbucks." I thought that was funny as heck. Thanos says, Thor says, "Don't worry about the stones; they're with the Avengers." And Quill's like, "The Avengers," and Thor goes,
Yes.
"Earth mightiest heroes." And Mantis goes, "Like Kevin Bacon," and Thor goes, "He may be on the team. I don't know." So I thought that was pretty funny there too. And more fun from the Guardians of the Galaxy. How is this dude still alive? He is not a dude. You're a dude. This is a man. A handsome, muscular man. He looks like a mixture of no, he looks like a pirate and an angel had a baby.
Baby. The pirate
Oh,
angel. Angel pirate.
and yes, Angel Pirate. I thought all of that was tremendous. Hey man, what's up, Mr. Stark? Kid, where'd you come from? A field trip? What's that guy's problem, Mr. Stark? He's from space. He came to steal a necklace from a wizard.
The wizard jokes had me rolling.
Oh, all the time. You're embarrassing me in front of the wizard. I thought that was another great line there. I thought that was good. I like when they're like Clint and Scott are somewhere, and Bruce goes, "Who's Scott?" And Steve Rogers goes, "Ant-Man." He goes, "There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man."
And Spider-Man.
I thought that was good. I thought that was good there too. What about this? This is Thanos we're talking about. He's the toughest there is. Well, he's never fought me. Yeah, he has. Well, he's never fought me twice. I thought that was good too. And then, deliver your line, your Thor line.
Sorry, Earth is closed today.
Earth is closed today is amazing. But that Thor line that you love so much, which is Thor, if you take all of that energy, it will kill you.
Oh yes.
Only if I die.
Only if I die.
That's what
means.
That's what kill. Yeah. Oh my God, that was so good. Thor, I would like to say that while he did do the jokes, he got serious when he needed to get serious, which shows that he has both sides, which I'm glad.
That's why
a lot of people were wondering if
badge.
A lot of people were wondering if he was going to stay permanently Saturday Night Live forever, and I'm glad that they got both sides of it. And now that you've seen Infinity War, you know why Ragnarok was so jokey. Yeah. It's because of how
coming
crazy
after.
Yeah, how crazy everything came.
So
because
you like Thor, you like Black Panther. Wait till you get a load of this.
Yeah, Thor speaking.
Because we're coming to kill everyone.
Thor speaking Groot was hilarious. I thought that
we're gonna take your money and break your heart
and your back
and
your
send
mind,
you home.
And they broke my heart, my spirit,
and wait for the next year.
All of it. How much for the gun? It's not for sale. Okay, then how much for the arm?
Just
I'll get that arm. Rocket definitely trying to get that arm there. Rocket was also really good. I much preferred Rocket in this movie than Guardians 2. Guardians 2, they made him like kind of a jerk for a reason. Like they were trying to set something up.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you guys doing here? Also, we got call him. We haven't caught up, have we? No. The Avengers broke up. We're toast. Broke up. Like a band?
Like the Beatles?
Like the Beatles? I thought that was funny too. You got wait, who are you guys? We're the Avengers, man. Peter just became an Avenger. But Peter's like,
that was great. Yeah.
We're the Avengers, man. And then Mantis goes, "You're the one Thor told us about." And Tony goes, "You know Thor?" And Cole's like, "Yeah, tall guy, not that good looking. Needed some saving." That was really, really good. But yeah, it's like I want to end it with, it's like a pirate had an angel, baby with an angel. I thought that was good. But yeah, man, that's seemingly our coverage for Avengers: Infinity War. I'm smiling from ear to ear because every time I see this film, it just makes me so happy because it was passion. Passion is the only thing. Passion, trust, patience is the only thing that got us here. It was people at the height of their powers, height of their creative powers, height of their acting powers, height of their CGI powers, height of their storytelling powers, script telling powers, directing powers. Everyone on 9 in this film got this film.
Moon throwing powers.
Moon throwing powers. Oh, you throw one more moon at me, I'm going to lose it. All of that. It's amazing. Oh, before we get out, Thanos knowing Stark. How'd you feel about that?
Oh, man, bro. I suspected in a way. But, nowhere near to that. Like them Stark.
Any idea as to why?
You
want to speculate here live?
I'll
wildly
say the main reason I probably won't be able to say. Well, I can. One is probably because he heard the nuke from Avengers 1 go into space and decimate part of the army, and 2 is because I think that as he got more of the stones, I think he just became more aware of everything. Yeah, just like everything, man. You know, and they gave you that kind of sense every time you put a gem in. You see him or feel him get more powerful. And
it's also cool because majority of people try to play off Tony Stark, right? Like you're not at the point as you think you are.
Thanos,
but if Thanos knows you,
name,
it's like wow. And at this point, Thanos,
you know me.
At this point, Thanos has come face to face with all 4 Avengers, all 4 of the main Avengers at least. And so that's also a big deal too because these seemingly will be the ones fighting. Um,
Mm-mm,
what
mm-mm.
I personally think that Cap and Iron Man will sacrifice themselves in the next film. Yeah, I know that was
That
your heart
was
leaping out of
that
your
was
chest.
heavy.
I
That was
think they're
heavy.
gone, bro. I think that all the narrative is there for it.
Oh,
And they will do their best to say goodbye,
I
to
feel like
bow
I just
out.
had a bad day right now.
No,
Wow.
don't have a bad day. We'll be able to
Woo.
celebrate. We'll be able to celebrate all that. I mean,
Uh,
we can't. We gotta take the wins with the losses, bro. If you want your Spider Man
we
and
just do
T'Challa
some
back,
quotes. See, I'm back where we started.
if you want your Spider Man and T'Challa back, bro, we're gonna have to do some
Yeah,
sacrifices.
they're not done.
How much
Peter, the other, let's sacrifice the other Peter. He
do you
can
think it
stay.
works? Do you think it works the same way? Oh my gosh, do you think it works like how Red Skull said, a soul for a soul?
I don't know. We're
Uh,
gonna have to
I don't want to think of my
the whole
Avengers
roster
stuck.
for the
Yeah,
whole.
yeah. Old roster for the
No,
new roster. That would be amazing. Any speculation you wanted to do
I
on
don't. I
four?
can't. I
No,
can't. Like
too
it's
much
like
out of your head.
like I don't even know. Like I'm here and I don't even know where to go from here. It's like
People are speculating time travel. That's on the table.
yeah.
We got the time
The only
stone.
thing I keep thinking about is Captain Marvel, but I'm just waiting to see because I don't even know. I've waited 10 years and I've never prepared myself for what's coming after. So I'm just a
Yeah,
blank slate right now.
and tell you the
It's
truth,
crazy, man.
this movie proves that I can't expect anything because they would literally blow my expectations out of the water. I can't say enough good things about this film, but thank you guys for being here for this Avengers Infinity
Oof.
War therapy session. I feel a little better. Got a
This is
little bit of the
great.
kinks
A
out of
little
me. I
off
hope you
my
guys feel
chest.
better,
Oh
man.
man.
We're still here. We're the 50% that are still here. So be excited about it and be excited about all the things that we're doing here as part of Comic Book Click. You can find all our stuff at facebook.com/comicbookclick, Instagram at Comic Book Click, or use the hashtag Comic Book Click to talk about the newest and hottest, latest, and greatest things to come to comic books and comic book media, and that's comic books, comic book movies, comic book television shows. We chop it up all there at Comic Book Click. But the long form stuff, the real conversational stuff, we do here at Major Issues, which is brought to you by Comic Book Click. And you could literally find Major Issues anywhere podcasts are found: Stitcher, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Apple iTunes, Apple Podcasts. I forgot how that works. I have an Android. Don't send any hate
Ooh,
mail.
shade. It's colder in the shade.
It's Civil War, bro. You have an Apple. You have an Apple iPhone, an i device.
Apple device.
He has an
iDevice.
iDevice, and I have a good phone. So we,
Wow.
yeah, man. Google us. Have you tried this? You want to do this live on air? Google Major
Wow.
Issues
Google
Podcast,
Major Issues Podcast.
and we come
I
up,
might have
bro.
to practice
We are
this.
the very
Yes, I
first thing
did.
that
I
comes
did.
up.
And we do
Major
come up.
Issues Podcast
We're
brought
the
to you by
first.
Comic
We're the
Book
first
Click.
and second that come up actually. Ooh.
Now, we have gotten more and more followers and subscribers. We see you guys out there. Thank you so much. The numbers are climbing. And guess what? This will be a lot of people hearing us for the very first time because this movie is that big that people will be looking this deep for answers and they're going to discover major issues. So go ahead and leave some reviews about how you think we're doing here. Not only do we learn how to improve, but if you leave us a rating, other people know about us and how good or bad that you think that this podcast is. Hopefully, you guys only say nice things, constructive criticism, but we can take it. I mean, we're still here, right? We've survived the war. But
Yeah.
please rate and review us on iTunes. It's the quickest way we can grow our audience and grow as podcasters. Look for us all over social media. And Major Issues has a Twitter now at Major Issues CBC that I operate personally. Message me. Let's have a
Look at
conversation
that.
about Infinity War because as of right now, I'm all Infinity Ward out. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you, Kevin
Thank
Feige.
you so much.
Thank you, Russos. Thank you,
Thank you for
everybody
caring.
that worked on this film, cast and crew.
Oh.
I can't wait for next year. And thank you, Claudius Maximus,
It was my honor.
for being
know?
on this show because my name is George Serrano, a.k.a. The Don. This was the Avengers Infinity War therapy session. You can get off the couch now and take the bill because it's pretty costly.
Yeah. Unfortunately. And I am Claudius Maximus.
And remember that if you're listening to this, you're part of the 50%, that Thanos will return. We saw it at the end of the film. Thanos will return. We have to arm ourselves. We have to be ready. We have to join as one.
I mean,
we have to
then,
be
then again,
the
if
clique.
he left us alone, how would you really feel? I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah,
half
maybe he
the
should stay
universe
back
is
away.
done. Like, are we really about to go bother him in the next
No.
movie?
Well, he's returning. That has been stated in the end of the movie.
Why are we
Thanos
coming back?
will
Why are we coming
return.
back? You good,
So,
bro? But all right, let's go.
So because he's returning, you have to remember that you are a member of the clique. You are a member of this team. We will fight against Thanos. The sun will rise up against us again, brother. Because you, yes, you are
Word.
worthy.